First of all, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Everybody in Los Angeles is fantastic, and all the United Wrestling Network is doing well. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope the baby's doing well. I'm looking forward to all of us getting ready to do this all over again.
Well, there are two big news items, and of course, you're welcome on the podcast anytime, but especially when there's huge news, and you mentioned the United Wrestling Network. So first and foremost, I've got to ask you about the return to live action for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and the Championship Wrestling programs that we have. We're returning in August is when the tapings happen. Tell us what to expect.
That's right. We're actually shooting this coming up weekend, and a lot of your favorites will be there from Championship Wrestling, but there's going to be some new faces too. So a whole new concept. This is the first time we're doing it without an audience, but we've had some rehearsal time for this. We've done some production for New Japan Pro Wrestling in the Ocean View Pavilion. So you may have seen NJPW Strong. That is produced by the Championship Wrestling production team. So we worked out angles. We worked out how to look on camera. We worked out how it can sound without people in there. And we're pretty satisfied with it. On top of the COVID restrictions and everything else we have to deal with, I think we're going to come back with some really good programming.
I'll tell you what, I saw some of the action from that New Japan taping, and it looked fantastic. So if it looks anything like that, I think all the fans, they're chomping at the bit, and they're going to be really excited about it. What other kind of changes are there? I know that some of the talent will probably be different, some of the storylines and such. Is it going to be that much different?
I don't think it's going to be that much different. We had some management shifts and some producer changes and some writing changes, people booking and whatnot. And new people comes new ideas. And but for the most part, I'd say 80% of the show is the names and faces that you'll all recognize. The NWA, of course, will still be included in the broadcast every now and again. But there'll be some new faces that I don't want to spoil. You're going to have to watch the show to see. New stables, new faces, and a big emphasis on female wrestling. So we're gonna feature women's wrestling a little bit more. I think we've done a good job so far, but we're gonna just add just a tad more.
I agree 100%. Women's wrestling is absolutely on fire on our YouTube channel at CW30 Wrestling. It's some of the highest viewed stuff that we have. When can we see the brand new Championship Wrestling? What is the air dates? Do we know?
Well, yeah, I think we do. In theory, if everything goes well, we'll have, much like a world title match, we have standby matches, but we do have some evergreen programming in place just in case we don't have the episodes 100% ready to air. But our goal is to have it mid-September. So either the second or third weekend in September, the new episode should air. Going into this weekend, as we're still planning everything, we'll be either shooting 4 or 8 episodes, depending if we're there 1 or 2 days. And that all really depends on the fire department, the police department, and all of that stuff. And prior to that, going in this Friday, we're going to be doing NJPW Strong again in the theater. So I'm hoping that's why we pushed it a week after that, so that the authorities can see exactly what we do, how we do it. Even though they've been there before, it's just, it's always city stuff. And they always come back, fire marshals will move this, do that, do whatever. And we just want to comply with everyone. Just the testing alone is overwhelming for guys who are used to just, piling in a room and putting a ring up and setting cameras up. But like, microphones have to be sanitized, ring posts have to be sanitized, we have to wipe that canvas down after every match. So our production day is more than tripling the time we're going to be in the studio, but it's all for the right reasons. And and I really want to figure out how to do this stuff when we are allowed to have people in there again, because we're going to have to follow these same protocols with the crowd. So that's going to be very interesting.
I'm really glad you mentioned those details, because there are so many wrestling organizations, especially all around the Mid-South here, that are running without face masks or without testing. And so I say it each and every week right here on this podcast, that anything that you see coming from Championship Wrestling product, myself and David Marquez will be exactly the way the CDC wants it, because
Exactly.
first and foremost, or else we'll get shut down.
100%. Like here, we're dealing with, we don't have an athletic commission, but we're considered a television production in California. So we're dealing with the film commission. We're dealing with Sacramento in a different way. And us actually being in Los Angeles and Hollywood, they're really looking at us. Like right now, you might or might not be able to hear it in the background. A Target commercial, the construction for sets is right behind me on this side on the stage, and then over here I believe there's an AT&T commercial being shot, and we're jammed in the middle of it where this ring is. And just walking in, I was walking through catering and their coffee bar and whatnot, and they're all just running into each other just like a real working movie studio. So it's really cool. So like when we're here doing our other program we're going to talk about, it's you know, you never know who you're going to bump into. You know, like in the hallways, they did Ariana Grande videos here. It's a real working television and film production company. So our guys, who knows who we can pull in one day to make that special appearance.
And you said it just a second ago. There's something we're going to talk about. And I know this, I hate to say it's even bigger news than the return of Championship Wrestling to live production, but it is. So
yeah,
you made a bombshell announcement with the United Wrestling Network earlier in the week or last week. Tell us about it right here, right now.
Well, I mean, we were already talking to Thunder Studios about doing something. First and foremost, and just so you guys understand, I've had a multi-year relationship with this facility. When people may see me out and doing non-wrestling productions, whether it's a concert or a show, a basketball game, a football game, whatever, MMA, boxing, the production facility, the trucks that I'm in, they're Thunder trucks and satellite trucks and all that stuff. So I know they had this facility. We'd been talking for a while. So we had that going, and we were going to do something here regardless, because this is the small stage. The other ones are gigantic. They're like for movies.
You're like the only guy I know that makes my schedule look like nothing.
And then, you know, after the pandemic became a real thing, and, you know, our relationship with the NWA, we couldn't return to Georgia. We couldn't go back to do NWA Powerrr. So I just felt that something could be done together in presenting a show where we all get something out of it. So whether it's taped or whatever, and then just little by little talking here and there, I felt, well, why tape a show when we have the facility and we have the distribution and we have the relationships? Can I just do it live? And so the NWA, Thunder Studios, and the United Wrestling Network, early on last week, we announced that we're creating a brand new show called United Wrestling Network Live. So it's really cool. I'm at Primetime Live. I'm really cool with everybody involved, all that we're doing, and that show. The biggest reason I wanted it to be live is the WWE is live and AEW is live.
Right.
We are the only other live pro wrestling show that will be available on television. And that was so important to me.
You see the grin on my face from ear to ear right now, because we talked about this a little bit back, but it's official now. So United Wrestling Network Primetime Live. When's the debut? What time is it going to be? Who's going to be involved? Give us the scoop.
Well, I'll give you as much as I can give you. That announcement blew up crazy. Like, I've seen my name out there with some stuff, but when Dave Meltzer calls you personally,
yeah,
that was something. I mean, I've talked to Dave a few times, but it's never been like, hey, Marquez, so what is this?
Right.
So it's going to premiere 9 p.m. Eastern Time live across cable and satellite traditional pay-per-view. So if you ever watch WrestleMania or whatever on television, like your viewing parties that you have at Dave & Buster's, you know, that's what this is, the same service. So there will be a cost. I don't know the cost yet, but it'll premiere Tuesday, September 15th at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is kind of cool because in California, that means we get to shoot it at 6 o'clock and I might be in bed by 9.
Oh,
So
God.
I'll be a real happy guy every Tuesday.
You know me, I wouldn't even be able to sleep for days after doing that.
For sure. I want nothing but sleep. I'm going to get here early. We're going to do the show. I'm going to jump on the freeway and be in bed. It's so exciting because I never have that opportunity.
Sure. So Tuesday, September 15th, that's 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time here. And I like the way you think about those Dave and Buster's parties, too. Who are we going to see? From what I read, we're going to have champions from all over the place.
That's right. So the United champions for sure are on the program. That's guaranteed. It's on the marquee. And but also the NWA champions will be here too. So at the moment, Eli Drake, Nick Aldis, Thunder Rosa, Aaron Stevens, they will be a part of the program for sure. And then some other talent from Powerrr as well throughout the series. I'm trying to, it's interesting. So the format of the show is kind of like, this is an old word to use, but kind of like a cavalcade or a review, like an old concert, like if you went to a country music concert or a Motown R&B review and you see all the biggest R&B stars on the stage together. That's kind of what this is. This is an all-star review show with anyone who's available. Hopefully, we'll be able to get him on the program. So if Zack Ryder is available and we come to terms, I guarantee you he'll be on the program. He might be challenging for the NWA World title. He might be challenging for the Heritage title. He might be challenging for the Arizona State title. Those are the type of matches and the matchmaking I really want to give the people. It's a little different. Just like on Twitter, if we're going to talk about that next, your name came up to go up against Nick Aldis.
Hey now, I checked my schedule. It looks like I'm pretty free. Oh man, so you mentioned NWA Powerrr. So NWA Powerrr, will it remain in production? And this is just an added show that's going to be live every Tuesday. The NWA diehards and United Wrestling Network diehards, they want to make sure that their favorites are going to be there, and it's not going to take away from any of the other products. So if I'm hearing you right, this is a standalone deal, and everything else will remain kind of like it is, or get back into production like normal.
Yeah, 100%. So like I was saying, Georgia, we can't go back into Georgia. It's not necessarily safe to do that. Also, the Powerrr program, the audience and the fans, they're a big part of that show. Yeah. So I don't think any of us want to taint the popularity and the magic that is NWA Powerrr, because it truly is magic. So no. So the live program is a brand new program, additional to Hollywood, additional to Arizona, additional to Powerrr. It's a supplement program. We'll also be shooting additional footage, exclusive footage for the internet for the NWA. So they do have a Patreon site. They have a YouTube site where, we're going to grab those people there, show them what's going on. And then hopefully on Tuesdays at 9:00, they'll come and join us.
Very, very cool. Is there anything else that you have on your plate that you need to tell us about? Because I don't know how you're doing.
This tooth has to come out.
I might be able to help you there.
No, there's lots of stuff going on, man. If this pay-per-view stuff works, the Red Carpet Rumble will be what it was intended to be, a pay-per-view special. Nice. Milestone will be a pay-per-view special. Crockett Cup can be a pay-per-view special. An NWA clash of some sort of a special event will totally be able to be presented probably on a Tuesday. In lieu of the live program, we can put a special type event in there. So I'm looking way forward to it. And the crazy part, I guess it's not too crazy because I always kind of never put myself over like this. I've had so many phone calls, not from talent, from promoters, nice, understanding the opportunity of the airwaves to get them, their talent, their people on the show. And you'd be really surprised of who has called me.
Very, very cool.
I was even surprised.
Hopefully in the coming weeks, as this thing gets closer and closer, we can have you drop in and give us some updates as things happen, because we all know things can change in 24 hours so fast with different announcements and things that are going on. So I appreciate you for coming on to give us the scoop.
You got it.
Thanks, boss.